at 10.
The Hispanic vote played a crucial role in deciding the presidential race in a handful of states where the margin was thin. But Latino voters defied the predictions of pollsters and did not form a united bloc behind any one candidate. KFDM's Angel San Juan joins us tonight in the studio to explain. Angel.
Conventional wisdom among many political pundits proved wrong this election cycle when it came to what they label as the Hispanic or Latino vote. Turns out the diverse Hispanic community, made up of people from different countries of origin and varying degrees of economical and educational backgrounds, are not as ideological as they are independent. 1 week after Election Day, Yari Cardenas is picking up her political signs. She did not win and is closing the chapter on her first ever campaign, but she knows the doors of opportunity are just opening for Hispanics in Port Arthur to enter politics.
You don't always have to win the race to actually win the numbers. I think we had a high turnout in the Hispanic community that we have never seen before by having the 4 Hispanic candidates. Definitely the turnout was higher than what it has been.
Not surprising that this election cycle saw the largest number of Hispanic candidates ever participating in Port Arthur city elections. That segment of the population is booming. It's clear when you see the number of businesses popping up throughout town to cater to Latinos.
The Hispanic community has a big impact now in Southeast Texas and now in politics.
Fernando Ramirez, a Hispanic community leader in Port Arthur for decades, says now that so many Hispanic families have made Port Arthur their home, the next step is to make sure that influence extends to City Hall and to representation in other government offices as well.
The Hispanic community is growing and becoming a part of the community, not apart from the community.
Both Ramirez and Cardenas say those who seek the Hispanic vote are making a mistake if they treat it as a unified bloc that leans left or right. In the U.S., Latinos are all put into one category, but they come from diverse communities, belief systems, and backgrounds.
You have Mexicans, you have Cubans, you have Central Americans.
In Texas and Florida, Hispanics tipped the scales toward President Trump, and in Arizona and California, a majority opted for Joe Biden.
Some went Democrat, stayed Democrat, some went over to Republican, but we're seeing an independent theme.
Ramirez is right. Hispanics proving there's no specific Latino ideology. While issues like DACA and immigration are hot with younger, more liberal Hispanic voters, there's a conservative segment focused on family values and faith, and jobs and education cross the spectrum of the population. Cardenas says both parties could do more for this expanding and diverse group of citizens.
They're not appealing to the Hispanic community, either the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. I think they need to reach out more, both parties.
Ramirez says Hispanic voting patterns show that both political parties need to work for the votes of all Latinos, not take them for granted or as a given that they will always cast their ballots a certain way.
The Democrats haven't done it for us. The Republicans haven't done it for us, but we associate with them. But it's time that the Hispanic community comes together and form its own political voice.
None of the 4 Hispanics who ran for office in Port Arthur won their race, but they say by engaging in the process, they definitely expanded their influence in future elections. Tiffany?